London Tower video tour.
William was looking for somewhere to impress and overall the citizens of London. He chose a site just inside the eastern city wall where Roland Broadway once stood. In 1078 he authorised the building of its first royal palace in fortress in England. They were referred to as the White Tower and is situated behind those buildings. Look overlooking behind those buildings. Over the next 200 years, successive monarchs continued to add to the defences in a valley of defensive wall containing 13 smaller towers was completed around 1220. This outer wall was completed in 1280 and it contains 6 further towers, all of which are facing south to defend against an attack should it come from the river. And to the north are 2 strong bastions known as Brass and Legs Mount, inside and on top of which would have been mounted cannon. Boom! To defend the tower against attack from that direction. Now another part of the defensive system was the moat, which the Royals stood in. This was done during the reign of King Edward I and was once filled with water. The moat was some 120 feet wide and when fully excavated was 15 feet deeper than it is today. And it was designed to use the tidal flow of the River Thames twice a day. It would wash in and around the moat and it would flush it clean. Now this system worked rather well at first, but all the rubbish and the excrement directed into it from the dirty city and the wide range of Houndsditch and Shoreditch, that system soon failed.
Wow.
It became the largest cesspit in London, a source of pestilence to all those who live nearby, especially the soldiers of the Tower garrison. It has continued for a very short period of just 500 years. So it took them 500 years to figure out they were getting sick because of the giant open-air toilet on their doorstep. So in 1843, the then Constable of the town, the Duke of Wellington, asked permission from Queen Victoria to have the moat drained. Thankfully it was granted, and the Duke had it filled with sand and shingle to the level it is today, put it into good use as an exercise area and parade ground for his troops in the Tower garrison. As I said earlier, this was the first royal palace and fortress of its kind built by the Normans in this country. Over the years, however, it has been used in many other ways. It was a citadel to command and defend the City of London. The crown jewels in royal regalia have been stored here since 1303. The Royal Mint was located within these walls, where all the coins of the realm were produced. It was the site of the first royal observatory studying the stars and the planets until it was moved to Greenwich in the 17th century. It was an armoury for the storage of warlike stores and provisions. Official records and papers to the King's and Queen's courts were stored here until they were moved to Kew in the middle of the 19th century for the public record.
Here you go.
The royal collection of exotic animals and royal beasts were held here in the Royal Menagerie or Zoo until 1835 when they were all moved to Regent's Park, or what we now know as London Zoo. And yes, we did have lions and tigers and bears. Oh, thank you. And last but by no means least, there's most ranked as the most famous prison complex in history. A place of murder, torture and executions. Now talking of executions, it's a place that stands at the top of the hill. It is called Trinity Green. It stands in an area known as Tower Hill. And that was the site of numerous executions between the 14th and 18th centuries.
Yeah.
And over the years, no less than 125 men of noble birth were to lose their heads up there by means of the blocking axe. The first victim was Simon Sudbury, Archbishop of Canterbury, who was murdered up there at the hands of peasants in 1381 for daring to introduce a poll tax. 7 years later was the first legal execution on Tower Hill, and that was of Sir Simon Burley, Knight of the Garter. And by remarkable coincidence, the last victim in 1747 was another Simon. Simon Fraser, the Lord Lovett, an 80-year-old Scottish lord who has supported the Second Jacobite Rebellion led by Bonnie Prince Charlie, 1745. Is anybody here called Simon?
Me?
I'd leave now, Simon.
Oh God, I better go then.
Right, just for a moment, we're going to pause. We're going to imagine the scene up there on a day of execution. You need to imagine this, Simon.
Yeah.
Thousands of people would have gathered around raised wooden platform, the scaffold, to witness the proceeding. There would have been much merriment. Alcohol may have been consumed. It would have been an action-packed, fun day out for the whole family. Not a crowd. They would have been extremely loud. They would be jeering and cheering. They would want to witness this spectacle. Having delivered his final speech and said his prayers, the condemned man would place himself down, his neck resting on a block of oak. He would then give a word or a signal, and the executioner would bring down his axe, hopefully beheading his victim with one stroke. The executioner would then pick up that severed, still bleeding head and hold it aloft for all to see. Special
Very
effect.
glory.
He loudly proclaimed, "Behold the head of a traitor! So die all traitors! God save the king! Hurrah!"
Ah! He scribed my shot on Sunday, might be happy. Thanks for watching it. Bye everyone.